Bowers Game Corner presents Gen Con Video Bonanza 2015. Brought to you by Gatekeeper Games, makers of The King's Armory, Thunder Track, the new sequel to Turbo Rally Card Racing, and the generous support of our Kickstarter backers.
Ahoy there, YouTube! We're back again today for more of our Gen Con Bonanza Explosion Blowout coverage. We're here live at Essen 2017, and we're going to be going over our top 10 things of Gen Con 2015. It was another awesome year at Gen Con. New record attendance, new awesome stuff, and we're going to be talking about it. I have some special guests with me today in the form of
Brandon
and
Eric.
And we're going to be going over our dish on our top 10. So I'm going to start it off. My 10's a little bit of a meta thing. I only wanted to put one meta thing on there, and I thought it was really cool personally to feel like a D-list celebrity. And I had another reviewer talk to about it, and we're about comparable in size. He's like, this is my favorite weekend of the year.
Girth.
He was like, yeah, this is the weekend where, I'm not Tom Vassell, I'm not Tom Cruise, but I feel like a D-list celeb where I get recognized. People say, hey, I've seen that guy before. And it is cool. Talking to people that have come up with the videos and say, hey, I enjoy the videos, and actually getting to sit down and talk with some of those people, I really enjoyed that, and it was really neat. Not to mention getting lots of free games and free stuff and stuff like that. So yes, I'll keep that to short. It was really cool being a D-list celeb for a weekend. So that was my number 10.
All right, my number 10 is the State of Greater Than Games panel. So I am a big fan of Sentinels of the Multiverse. Greater Than Games is the publisher of that game. They recently merged with Dice Hate Me. So basically, they just had a little panel about what they're going to be doing in the future and what they're going to be releasing. It was really nice of them. Back and forth, they talked about the Sentinels RPG, which apparently gained a whole lot of traction at this past thing. They talked about what's coming for Sentinels. They talked about what's coming for the Handelabra version of Sentinels of the Multiverse, the iOS game, which is spectacular if you're at all a fan of Sentinels. I just really enjoyed the panel. I got a lot out of it, enjoyed it, and had a good time. Nothing much else to say.
My number 10 is the zoo. We got to go to the zoo. Now, the event that we attended wasn't up to snuff, in our opinion, and you can check out the top 5 disappointments, a.k.a. the Power Bottom list.
Power Bottom. I think that's what we should call
it. and learn more about the actual event that we were attending. But the zoo itself was pretty impressive. I mean, it reminded me that in downtown Indy, on days that surround Gen Con, that there's a plethora of things to do. I saw a dolphin. I saw ring-tailed lemurs.
Those sharks. There's a giant shark tank. We saw a seal.
And we barely went in there, you know? Singer. Yeah, he was there. All still messed up. He's doing all right, though. But yeah, so number 10 was the zoo, and I'm going to go ahead and lump in just the surrounding attractions that are around the convention center within walking distance. It's really
Great
a nice
area.
downtown
Great
city.
area.
Yeah, definitely a lot to do. My number 9 was Breaking Games. And you might not know who Breaking Games is. You will. You will very, very shortly, I do believe. Breaking Games is an off-spin of a company called Ad Magic, which you also, once again, might not know, but they are a publisher. They're a manufacturer, I should say.
Right. Printer and publisher.
Yeah. They do a bunch of games. They did our personal game. They did Cards Against Humanity. They do a lot of games. And they just decided one day to say, hey, why don't we make this into a game publishing thing? And so they are teaming up with some really awesome people with some really awesome games. They had one of the most impressive booths at the convention, which is really saying something because they're a first-timer there with that booth. And they just knocked it out of the park. They had tons of games. It was a nice ebb and flow. It was very, very busy, but it didn't feel too crowded. They had like this saloon, Old West theme set up. People had cowboy hats on. It was really...
Flick 'em up. Right?
No, that's a different one.
Different one? Oh, okay.
We'll edit that out. We won't.
Just keep it going, because this is all going to tie into one of mine. Too.
Okay.
Yes, but they really did a great job, and I think you're going to be hearing some great things about them in the next couple of years. Not to mention a game. We'll hear about them later on the list. But yes.
So am I going to number 9?
Yep.
All right, number 9. Apologies, I thought that was the same company. Anyway, number 9 for me was Witch Hunt from Kyle Brockman. So this is basically a werewolf variant. It's on Kickstarter right now. I am not a huge werewolf fan. I kind of thought it was, it's not that great a game to me. Witch Hunt, to me, fixes kind of exactly what they say. It fixes everything that's wrong with werewolf. If you die in Werewolf normally, you're out. You just kind of sit there and wait for everything to be done, which to me is terrible in a game. Any game that has a you're dead mechanism and you don't come back in, it's terrible. In Witch Hunt, you die, which I did very, very quickly for some reason. You still get to hang around and contribute. Yeah, right? And I'm like, these kids are like voting me out. I'm like, I'm a good guy! What's wrong with you? But they totally killed me right away.
I heard about that.
Did you?
The kids were evil.
The kids were super evil. But the great thing was, we had a great time. Alcohol may or may not have been involved. It was. But I still really, really enjoyed it. I had a great time.
I'm going to call you Glasses.
Highly, highly recommend it. Very good game.
Yeah, this was one of my top 5 of last year. This was an honorable mention for this year because I knew you were going to bring it up. It is an outstanding game that is, for me personally, if it's run by a good moderator, it is a werewolf killer.
My number 9, I like to find the little secrets around the convention that help me out.
He's digging through the trash. Somebody, they're fried.
There's so many documents in here, man. No,
Secret documents.
We happened across a Marshes, which normally not a big deal,
the
right?
Grocery store.
But yeah,
The grocery store?
But yes,
Okay.
but
People might not know that.
this is exactly. It's not something you expect. Once you get downtown, really all there are there's not even really fast food options. It's restaurants.
Yeah.
But we because where we were parking, happen across this Marshes. We go in there and there's great deals on like these deli lunches, these nice lunches. And I was like, man, this is worth mentioning because it's a few blocks out of the way. It's not something you're normally going to search for. But I'll tell you, when we walked out of there, could not have been happier.
Yeah.
We were absolutely we were like, we got all this food for just we were planning on spending, $15 on lunch. No, we got out of there with like a $6,
Nice. All right.
home cooked meal. It tasted like, and it was definitely a highlight and something that we're gonna remember and take advantage of in convention's future.
I feel like the best comparable thing would be we went to a food truck I did one time. It was $13 for our meal, and we probably got about 1/4 of the food that we got there, and it was good fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy, biscuit,
Hearty.
and it
Party
was
meal.
$5. Definitely, it's within maybe like 5-10 minute walk. Definitely wanted to check out the Marshes down there. Great one on the list. So number 8.
Number 8? Can
Your
we
number-
hop on to number
Yeah.
8? Because my number 8 is actually the food trucks you were talking about.
Oh.
As expensive as they are, we actually got to try them last year. One of my big disappointments was just the lines. It just seemed a little unorganized and didn't really know what was going on. This year they had it set up and they were in more places. They were more spread out, and so you could. It was a lot more organized. I feel, and it's a little bit pricier, but I mean, you really what you get is some great tasting food. We had some Korean tacos, but they had anything and everything that you could think of. They got a truck for it out there. And it's great because they pull them right up to the street next to the convention center, and you just pop right out, get your food, pop right back in, and you're good to go. They even had a beer tent out there that was nice.
Yeah, they did. My number 8 is Kickstarter companies growing. This is just something that I thought was really super cool. This one might have a soft spot for me, particularly because I do a lot of Kickstarter reviews and previews. I've done over 100.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I've done over 100.
Do you have
of
a
them.
YouTube channel?
But the thing is, so a lot of these companies, I saw them 2 years ago, and they were just maybe demoing a game. Maybe they were in the first exposure exhibitor hall, and then maybe last year,
Or the regular hallway.
Yeah, yes, and now they have booths. They're selling games. They are selling out. Some companies in particular, Mayday Games, Greenbrier Games, Overworld Games. I know Greenbrier Games was popping at all hours, and that started because of Kickstarter, and that's really super cool. Overworld Games, I think, is going to be another one that maybe next year, if Booze Barons comes out and it is a hit, then it's going to be the same way, and it's just really cool to watch them grow. I like it. It's really neat.
I went with a whole lot of games on my list. My number 8 is not a new game. It's Jamaica from Asmodee. I think it was released in 13 or 14. It's not new at all. We had heard about it. It's ranked very high, or it was recommended to us by someone. My buddy picked it up. We played in the lobby of the hotel, and it's just a real simple race around Jamaica kind of game. Multiple paths. You're pirates. You get treasure. Everybody gets the same cards. Roll dice. Real easy. Super fun. I enjoyed the crap out of it.
Yeah, I played that one. It's a really good game.
Yeah. I'll just jump into my number 7 as well. Might as well. We're just going back and forth. Zombie 15 Minutes from Yellow. This was released last year, and they had a giant setup for it last year where it was
awesome,
impossible to get into last year.
Look, so good. He got into it. You can
did
check
you?
out the video from last year.
Oh, there's a video. Okay, awesome. This year they had it out again, and apparently it lost its luster, or people weren't checking it out. You can just walk right up and do it. The concept is you have 15 minutes to play through a map, and zombies are coming out at you at all times. It was sort of amusing because the moderator didn't have the CD, so instead he was just like, grrr, zombies, grrr, zombies. Real simple, real quick, real easy, but yet you still felt like tension and stress, and you wanted to get out. You're trying to get everybody into. It was something that I really want to check out. I want to play it like in a closed setting.
I'm not big on the real time games, but that was one that I liked, and I enjoyed watching him play. I don't think he had very much fun.
No. I actually put it in my top 10 disappointment.
Oh wow! All right.
I just didn't like it, but that was also that could have been the setting. I actually have a copy that I might be getting in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try it again. We'll definitely try it again.
My number 7 was Indianapolis, the homo-hating, queer-bashing utopia.
Hey.
Or at least that's what I feel like a lot of people thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, our stupid
Unfortunately,
governor screwed
RFRA.
things up and blah, blah, blah. And I heard so many people saying, we're never going to Gen Con now. It's going to be terrible. There's going to be discrimination. And the bottom line is, there was none of that. And you know why? Because any smart businessman is not going to turn down anybody, no matter who they are kissing, because they have green. They have money. And yes, but that's one reason. Also, there was a 9% increase in Gen Con, and on Saturday, they hosted a One Direction concert,
Oh yeah,
not contest,
bonkers.
and a baseball
game.
game at the same time. I remember hearing on the news that there was predicted to be over 140,000 people in like a 3-square block area.
It was crazy.
But with all that being said, Indianapolis handled it admirably.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly why I don't think it should move from Indianapolis. I'm obviously a little bit biased. But Indianapolis really handled it. I felt like despite the fact there was a 9% increase, it didn't feel like it was that much more crowded this year over last year.
I would agree.
They had a Super Bowl not too long ago, and they completely redid downtown. I think it's all the better.
Indy
It's
goes
a
all
perfect
out for it.
place, yeah.
They go all out for it. Restaurants, shops. Everything.
Yeah, there was
It's phenomenal.
tons of restaurants do specials,
Menus.
There's a marsh down there.
Marshes.
I mean, that grocery store.
But yes, Indianapolis, you guys rock.
All right, number 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
My number 7 was the Gen Con beer of the year from Sun King Brewery. It was Drink On and Prosper, named after the late Leonard Nimoy. And it was a blonde brewed with fruit. It was pomegranate apricot, black cherries. It was a perfect summer beer. It was great. It was hot outside, and it was just, it hit the spot. It really did. As much as I like last year's beer, it was a good beer.
And Sun King, if you see this, want to send us free stuff?
Yeah, like beer.
We'll pimp it.
We'll wear shirts.
Oh,
Put
yeah,
up a poster.
absolutely.
Send that swag.
Number 7?
I already did my number 7. I'll do number 6.
Oh, you already did your number 7?
My number 7 was Zombies 15 Minutes.
You didn't
I'll
have
do
two?
my numbers.
Wait, you didn't have 2
I
number
didn't have
7s?
two. You have 2 number 7s? Crap.
I thought we were doing that. I thought that was a thing.
I have 3 number 6s.
Of course you do.
Hey, number 6.
My number 6 is the interconnected web that is downtown, Circle Center. There's a mall, there's restaurants, the convention center especially, multiple hotels. The fact that all of this exists and it's all interconnected, I mean, the signage could be better, but there are signs. You know, if you're familiar with walking through an airport, you can make your way blocks and blocks away without ever touching the air, which is great. You know, but just the fact that you have all these different things at your disposal, you don't have to worry about traffic, you don't have to worry about crossing busy streets, any of that. I mean, there's flows of people to let you know where things are. I think that whole thing just adds to the convention, and it helps it open up further than just the center itself.
One thing I really do want to say about this is going to sound really odd, but there was no homeless people in those tubes. They must do it. And here's the thing: like there were homeless people around Indianapolis.
Yeah, sure.
But you would think that they would naturally kind of gravitate towards that because it's air conditioned. I didn't see any in there, which so they're obviously doing something right. That's a really odd point to make, but yes. My number 6 were 2 games that I tried and loved. I didn't get to. I only either got to play them once or played it halfway. The first one is Scythe from Stonemeyer Games, which is going to be getting on Kickstarter in the next couple of months. It was outstanding. It was a thematic Euro with tons of different ways to win. I think he's got another home run on his hands. I'm a big fan of Viticulture Between Two Cities. I haven't got to play it before. Yeah. And then Dice City from AEG. I really enjoyed this game. It's I think it's 1 to 4 players, and essentially you're going to have your own personal board in front of you. You're going to be rolling 2 dice, and whatever those dice correspond to, you're going to gain certain things. Like you might gain a victory point or wood or metal or something like that. But then you're going to use those resources to purchase cards to put on your board. So you're essentially going to be improving your city. And there was different ways that you could go about it. Like you could focus on taking out bandits, or you could focus on getting more victory points, or getting more resources, or building boats. I really liked it. I think they got a real hit on their hand. That was Dice City's AEG. The other way around.
My number 6 is not a game. I picked. Wow. I'll just.
Thanks for that.
Edit that, I guess. I hope.
Are you editing this?
I would hope so. My number 6 is Kilroy's Bar, just to the east of the convention center. It's 2 blocks away. We found out about this place last year when we went. They were outstanding. Apparently, it's an IU bar. I guess that would be my only knock on it. But they have outstanding food. They had reasonable prices, good service, and a great beer list, including many Sun King brews. I'm going to pimp them as much as I can and get you a sponsorship. But yeah, Kilroy's Bar. Absolutely outstanding.
All right, moving on. You want to start with your number 5?
Sure. Terry Brooks was the author of note for Gen Con this year. He is the author of, I learned how to pronounce this correctly from him.
He's the Allspice guy, right?
No. Who's that?
Isn't that Terry Brooks?
It's Terry Crews.
Terry Crews.
Oh, man. All right,
You
I'm
are
gonna
off.
back out.
So anyway, he's an
this
author. He writes
This
books.
is the Spaceballs guy. I think.
No, that's Mel Brooks. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, he writes
from Lethal Weapon?
I'm done with these guys. Are you kidding me? Terry Brooks is the author of the Shannara, not Shannara, or damn it, it's Shannara. Oh my God. He actually went through like 10 minutes of pronouncing it because he pronounces it Shannara, and I've pronounced it Shannara since I was a kid.
Like
Anyway,
Shakira?
what?
No, not like Shakira.
Not like Shakira at all. Yes, maybe. It has an A in it.
Shannara.
Sure. Anyway, he had an authors panel on Saturday. He was talking about all of his books. He spent a good time talking about that. He's got a new series coming out to MTV of all networks in January that's going to be called The Chronicles of Shannara. I can't even do it. And it's going to be based off the Elfstones of Shannara. I want to say Shannara. Anyway, that panel was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for making fun of it. Really appreciate that. You know what? I'll toss Eric for number 6, I think.
5?
5? Damn it.
It's pronounced Feeve.
For my third number 6 is the devil. No, number 5, I've got parkingwiz.com. Another one of those tricks. My experience was a little bit different than most people's. I didn't really get to play too many games. It was more of a working thing for me. But we found parkingwiz.com, and we found the craziest, smallest, just around the corner thing, like parking spots that some of them you would never even think that you're supposed to park here, but It all makes sense, and it all worked out. And we ended up getting parking that on the day of the One Direction concert and the baseball game and all that, there were spots directly next to us for $30, and we parked for like 6.
Oh, wow. Nice.
You know, just because we knew we were going to be there, we knew we wanted to park close, we're going to go ahead and pay so we'd get a spot. And, 2-3 blocks away or even right next to a Marsh's, it ended up being very, very convenient. And it's something that not even just for that Gen Con convention, but I would seem that everywhere you'd be able to use this, and it would be a good utility.
Maybe Marsh will send you some produce.
I need some
free
parking
melons
passes.
Parking with Sun King. We're not shy.
I'll throw this into NASCAR. I don't care. My number 5 is a game and this is actually one that I have got a chance to play 3 or 4 times since the end of Gen Con, and that is Boomtown Bandits from Squirmy Beast Games, which actually is part of Breaking Games. They're co-publishing with them or something like that, and it is fantastic. It's a light gateway game with fast dice chucking. It's got this really cool Western theme, and the theme's not too kidsy. It's got like a brothel and a saloon, and there's special powers, and it's just a really great game. Highly recommended it. It was in a very limited release run, but I feel like when this gets out, you're going to hear quite a bit about this game. Boomtown Bandits from Squirmy Beast Games and Breaking Games. This is definitely one that if you're in the market for a gateway game or a lighter family game, absolutely check it out. A lot of fun. Boomtown Bandits, my number 5, and yeah. We go on to number 4?
You want me to do number 4?
5?
I know it.
I'll do 4. Why
All right.
not? I'm going another panel, the Titans Grave panel. If you're at all a fan of Tabletop, Will Wheaton's Tabletop, if you're not, I highly encourage you to check it out. There's 3 seasons of it. It's outstanding. Last year, when they did their Indiegogo, they said if they got over a certain amount, that they would do an RPG show. And I thought, oh man, an RPG show, hooray! Because I'm not into RPGs. And they went ahead and did one this year, and frankly, well, thanks for that, Forrest. I mean,
You all right? You gonna be able to finish this one?
I just had to blow my
I'll
nose.
cut. Oh, where should I cut into that?
I didn't think it was that loud.
This is all staying.
This is all staying.
Yeah.
All right, it's a Titans game.
So we're not, all right, yeah.
I'm not
so-
working harder because this guy needs to blow his nose. This is all
Okay.
staying.
So, all right. So the Indiegogo, they decided to do an RPG show. I said that already. Crap. Sorry. Anyway, turns out I really like it. I wound up really digging Titan's Grave. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. It's on YouTube. It's also on Geek and Sundry. They're 9 episodes in. I think they go up to 11. Will was there. The lady who plays Lemley. Dang, I forget her name. I'm terribly sorry. But it was a really great panel. Just very back and forth. Lots of really good questions. Will confirm that there's going to be a Tabletop Season 4. And we'll also confirm that there will be Titan's Grave Season 2. So if you're at all a fan of any of that on the Geek and Sundry Network on YouTube, you're in for a good time.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
It's honestly, check it out. It's really good.
My number 4 and was fantastic games that were released at Gen Con and they're coming out very, very soon that I already knew were fantastic because I've already done reviews of them or got a chance to play them. In particular, New York 1901 from Blue Orange Games.
Great game.
Fantastic. Viceroy from Mayday Games, another
Great
outstanding game. The King's Armory from Gatekeeper Games was one I really liked. Between Two Cities from Stonemeyer
Excellent.
Games. Bombers and Traders, which is the expansion to Good Cop, Bad Cop from Overworld Games.
Ooh.
Kyle Brockman's Witch Hunt, which is coming to Kickstarter right now. It's outstanding. Liftoff from Pencil First Games LLC, which we got to play last year. All those games came out in some way, shape, or form at Gen Con pretty much, and they were all just outstanding games. I really think that there was a lot of great games to get released, and we're not even talking about code names or Rattle Battle Grab the Loot. I mean, there was not one distinctive game that was really the game of the show, essentially, besides from maybe code names.
Or Regni.
But there was so many outstanding games that were being released there. Just really good years for games. So yeah, that was my number 4. Fantastic games that I already knew were outstanding.
My number 4 was mentioned before, and it's essentially our fans, if you will. It's the people who've seen the videos, went out of their way to stop this guy and say, hey, thank you. I mean, he's not going to go into it too much, but just watching him, he's beaming at people. He's asking them what they're into, asking about the games that they're seeing. He stops and has a conversation with anyone who stopped him to tell him that, they liked his videos or what he does or appreciates it. And, I mean, I get recognized once or twice because of one of these videos, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool. But this guy, he's actually got some people behind him, and, it's great to see. It's great to see him come from nothing to, whatever this is now. It's amazing, and it's so much fun for me, and I'm glad that everybody else is enjoying this too.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I still remember calling you when we got 1 subscriber. Yeah, I was like, we got a subscriber!
It's like, cool.
That's outstanding.
All right.
I didn't know my mom had YouTube.
I'll do my number 3. I don't want to talk about my number 3. I really don't.
Oh, no.
I know.
No,
I have
edit
to.
this. Edit it.
Edit it out.
Don't tell people. All right, tell
I know.
people. It's Bowers Game Card. If they're here, they can know.
Oh my God, Rio Grande Room.
Oh, yeah.
The Rio Grande Room
Heaven.
It's one of the most unsung things. I'm not going to give any details because I don't want to give it all away. But basically, they at least set up tables and tables and tables of Rio Grande themed games. They open at 10 o'clock. There's no confusion. You don't know what's going on. You're going in there to play a game. You walk in, you sit down on a table. Someone comes up to you. This is it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Nope, I'm leaving that
Free
out.
food and drinks.
No! Edit that out! That doesn't exist!
It's an amazing room.
It is. It is a fantastic
It's
room. I don't
upstairs.
want anyone to go. Don't go. Don't go. Go for the games. Go for the games. They'll walk up. I'll teach them to you, and then go out.
Don't go to the back of the room where there's free food truck.
No, don't go there.
Don't say that.
Stop saying that. I was gonna leave that out.
If they made it this
this
far,
is exactly why-
edit that out because
This is exactly why I don't mention the bathroom that I frequent.
oh, you have a
Like,
secret
I have
bathroom.
a secret bathroom.
let's
Yeah.
let's
There's
air
also a
it.
secret
Number
corner
3.
to a very popular bathroom.
Oh my god! Number 3,
Yeah.
Rio Grande Room. Keep it up, guys. That was outstanding.
My number 3 is Nugget Games boxes. Nice guy named Sean. We met when we were playing Witch Hunt. We were all dead, and he was like, "Hey, you want to check this out?" And he showed me something on his phone, which were these incredible boxes that he had created for some popular games like Carcassonne and Pandemic and When I Ultimate Werewolf. Wooden. They were carved.
Not just
engraved.
wooden, 100% wood.
Yeah.
The
Really?
hinges. It was all wood. Like everything was. There's no screws or nails or in it. Like it's all. I don't know. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
It was very impressive.
And I immediately said, all right, it was Saturday night. I was like, we're scheduling an interview with the two tomorrow. I want to get you some press because this guy could legitimately have a job, a well-paying job doing this next year. He could run a Kickstarter right now, and it would probably take him a long time to fulfill it, but he could probably raise you over $100,000 easily. Fit all the expansions, cool components, cool. Oh, it was so nice. And I was like, nice, and I was like, I want you to go, and I took him over to the Dice Tower booth because
Walked him. Yeah, walked him over.
I helped him carry stuff, and apparently Tom Bassel is going to do a review of one of
nice.
his.
Good.
And I honestly think that is just going to send him out of the stratosphere. I feel like he's going to get so much buzz for that, and hopefully he hooks us up with hooks me up with a pandemic box.
Wink.
For all the pandemic
Wink.
expenses.
No, but either way, super nice guy, super amazing boxes, and I'm excited to see hopefully him next year, maybe at Gen Con selling some stuff. Who knows? That was my number 3.
All right, number 3, I have, I kind of lumped a few different things in here, but creative booths. That's something I really enjoyed seeing this year. You mentioned Ad Magic's booth where they have a saloon. They've got, cartoony wanted posters of, all the big names in board gaming. They've got their games around the side so you can still come in and do the thing. Then there was Flick 'em Up that you mentioned.
Yeah.
With the cowboy
That
hats,
was
they've got it all set
spectacular.
up on large tables.
That was really good.
You go by and you see 6 huge tables completely full of people, and every one of them has a tiny little straw cowboy hat.
Which
Like
was brilliant.
that, I mean, you can't not smile at that.
That was great.
Upper Deck
Oh yeah.
with their Predator game, they
Yes.
had a jungle
Great point.
theme.
That was
It
cool.
was they had. I think they might have even had a fog machine.
They
I
had
saw
music
there,
going.
so-
I mean,
yeah, they had ambiance. It was great, and I love it when booths go the extra mile to immerse you in that, and it takes you out of the convention center for a little bit because it's pretty hectic. There's
because the
people
line's like 2
everywhere,
hours.
and but
Yeah.
but these booths, like if they're highly creative, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a great thing, and it really spices up the entire room there, the entire hall.
Yeah, creative ones and also just well-ran ones like Asmodee. Like their booth was
Asmodee ran a
fantastic.
great
It was
booth.
such a wide open space. They had,
Great Fox ran a good booth.
yeah, they had a good one. It's just
Cool stuff.
do something with your booth. We don't want to see just tables and a sign. Get creative.
Yeah, I mean, I get it if that's what you got. I mean, that's kind of bare minimum, though. I feel you got a storefront and you got some tables to play your games. Like if you don't have that, then you're messing something up. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you go further than that and you really put some effort into it, it goes a long way because those booths full, absolutely full the whole time. That's some of the things that people stand in line for, because they know that they're about to go into this whole different environment, and it's nice to see.
One thing I do want to mention about that is this. I'm thinking about this. The Breaking Game booth you mentioned was a super awesome booth, and it was consistently packed, but I'm actually thinking about the games that they were displaying, and none of those games are household name games, but that booth was still packed, and I think a lot of people were just interested in the booth itself.
Yeah, it brought people in a place where people are constantly looking and constantly overstimulated. It's a good touch, and it's appreciated.
Nobody likes a bad touch.
Let's have Bloodhound.
Bloodhound Gang.
Nice. I'm glad you got that.
I got it.
Do you want to go into your number 2? Why don't you do your number 2, Eric?
My number 2, I'm finally going to get to some games.
Took him long enough.
It was a Cryptozoic booth. When we went there, they got your regular games, but then they had 2 games that really piqued my interest.
Can I guess? Portal.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know the other one. I got one of them.
You got the other
Ghostbusters.
one. Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay.
We talked to the guy from Ghostbusters. He told us the extent of his research into the Ghostbusters universe, if you will. And there's all kinds of references he's promising, and it just looked like a great game. It was fun to listen to him talk about it. And then Portal, another great game that I'm really interested in seeing how they're going to make that into a board game.
Cryptozoic, I almost added Cryptozoic on my top 10 list just because they were nailing it. The booth was really well ran.
Oh, yeah, and as far as logistics on the booth goes, we went by at the end on Sunday, and
everything was gone.
Everything was gone. They're selling out their copies that they were reviewing for for like pennies on the dollar.
Wow.
And so, I mean, you said it right there when we were talking. It was a really good point that they knew exactly what to bring. They knew how much to bring.
This was like maybe 20 minutes before they closed Sunday, and they were selling the very last of it, and it was everything. Everything was gone.
Tight ship, and a good-looking future, I think.
My number 2 kind of goes nice to segue into there, is that was just tons of licenses and IPs everywhere, and it's just so exciting. And a lot of the times, and I feel like in video games, it's when you hear about a license or IP, you're like, ugh. But
what's an IP? Sorry, what's an IP?
Internet protocol. I know it's a word that people use in this kind of situation.
I didn't call you out on that. I really don't know what it is. So, independent publisher?
Well, he's talking about the rights.
Okay.
The rights to certain things. So, Ghostbusters, Princess Bride, Mega Man. What else do you got?
Look at my list.
Portal.
I got Portal, Big Trouble in Little China, Firefly. I mean, you got your stuff and stuff.
I got you.
Predator,
Star Wars, Star Trek, Alien. And it's really exciting because in video games, like when you hear about this, you kind of like, that could be bad or good. But in board games,
something on.
The thing is, like these designers, and it was really true with the Ghostbusters guy. Like he loved Ghostbusters,
fan,
and it's like they're giving these titles to people that really enjoy it, and I feel like that just is really exciting.
It doesn't feel like they're going to abuse them. It makes you excited because they're going to implement what they know as game designers.
Except for maybe Mega Man. I'm still really skeptical about Mega Man.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
So sad. But yeah, that's really exciting, and hopefully it draws some new people into the hobby too. I mean, you never know.
My number 2 is Rattlebones, a game that came out in 2014 from Rio Grande. At least I think it was 2014. Don't Google that. Might be. What I loved about this was a couple things. It comes with 3 different dice for each player, and the dice have removable faces, which I thought was super cool. So essentially, you're going to start out with the same dice everybody does, but you roll one, land on a spot, take this little thing, pop your face off, put the new face on, and now that is your new face. So you might get like the train, which gets you points, or you might get an arrow, which causes your die to move to a different direction. Totally different mechanic from anything I've ever played. Simple, easy, totally a gateway game. It's not in depth, it's not deep, but man, we had a good time playing it. We played it twice. It was awesome. We enjoyed it. We had a good time. What more can you say about a board game? If you have a good time playing it, who cares?
Yeah, I saw a demo of it, and it looked really interesting, and it also really piqued my interest of what someone who wanted to make a deeper game could do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like that could be like Stonemaier Games. Like, I love those guys.
We love
Stonemaier.
Stonemaier.
If they could make something.
Yeah,
but I mean, just taking the mechanic, it was unique and different. I loved everything about it.
Exciting to see new mechanics. Period. I mean,
absolutely. You just want me to run in my number
one?
Do it.
Okay. So my number 1, we have it sitting here. Bam. Star Trek 5-Year Mission just came out this year at Gen Con from Mayfair Games. I signed up for the charity event that they ran on Saturday, just kind of because I thought it would be cool. Marina Sirtis, who played Counselor Deanna Troy on TNG, came by. A little drive-by. Still good. I mean, it was, for multiple reasons. Hey, Marina, if you're watching, what's up? You're not watching.
Tweet me.
Tweet me.
Yeah, tweet me.
Tweet anybody. No, it's an outstanding game. Really enjoyed it. Cooperative dice rolling. You basically are going through a progression of alerts where the low alerts really easy, the yellow alerts sort of hard, and red alert's really difficult, but then there's a timer mechanic that comes up on the dice where you got to get that one before you get the other ones, or you might have the prime directive mechanic that comes up where you have to finish that one before you finish these other ones, and it all played together so great. And you're yelling at each other, but my favorite part of it is it's a cooperative game, but there are cards that say you can no longer communicate. So you're sitting there and you're talking back and forth, and all of a sudden there's a card that comes up that says you can't talk anymore. So your partner gets the dice, rolls for something, and you're like, do that! You should do that right now! And you can't say anything or make any gestures or anything. And I loved that. I thought that was spectacular. I cannot wait to play it again. I'm super stoked to play it again. My absolute number one. It was an instant purchase. No doubts about it. I walked out of there with it, and I'm thrilled about it. It was my absolute highlight of Gen Con. It was spectacular. Good job, Mayfair.
Really, I didn't hear anybody talk about that game. So now
Wow,
I really want to
that's
enjoy it.
surprising.
All right, my number one, let's see here. It was the IDW booth. This booth, we went to a lot of booths. We talked to a lot of people. This booth, every game that we talked with them about was something that I was interested in for one reason or another and was excited about. They had a game that's been out for a little bit, Chew. I'm into that comic. I would love to play that game. They've got one called Trap that is going to be an 8-parter, and the artwork on that one just totally brought me in. Awesome Kingdom was what I feel like is going to be a. Where are you going? Where are you going?
I gotta blow my nose again.
Jeez, man.
You're really Awesome Kingdom?
Yeah, Awesome Kingdom.
Yeah, you didn't go far enough away. Like, at all.
It's like
Not even close.
It's a tongue-in-cheek dungeon crawler that looks
What
really
is
fun.
Awesome Kingdom?
Awesome Kingdom. And the one that I'm really excited about is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
And they didn't even show us
see
anything.
that. I didn't even
And
see
all we saw was the front of the box.
Oh, really? That's it?
And it was just the cover of one of the comics, and I was just seeing that
Now,
on
is
a
it
big
the Rob
box.
Blair? Is it the red? Is it all red?
It's-
Are they all red? Or is
It is the Kevin Eastman. They're going off of Kevin Eastman,
Okay.
which is the original writer. He's one of the two original
Right.
writers. They're going back to that. I don't know if they're going. They recently rebooted the comic. IDW did, and I think they're going off that reboot.
Okay.
But I've read those, and they hold up. They are good. There's a lot of room to miss, like with what we were talking about when you get these licenses. But he was talking about have it be it's very cooperative, very teamwork driven, which is definitely right up the Turtles alley. And me being a lifelong Ninja Turtles fan, I just think this
Who's
is going
got
to be great.
Turtle?
Oh,
Come on.
I can't pick.
Oh,
man.
come
I can't pick.
on.
I
It's
can't pick.
clearly Michelangelo.
I can't pick. I
Everybody-
want to party with Michelangelo. I want
Okay.
to study with Donatello. I'd like to get in a bar fight with Raphael.
I'd
But
like to make
if
out
I'm
with
sitting
Leonardo.
around and I'm trying to get work done, then I'm talking to Leonardo.
That's Ninja Turtles, Donatello.
What?
Take that to the bank, Internet.
I do want to mention that
Donatello.
Eric didn't mention this, but it is going to be Descent style, where it's going to be one versus many. So one person is going to be taking control of
it's
Shredder,
Yes,
sending
yes,
out
yes,
Foot
yes.
Clan, and all the
okay.
cool guys, and the other ones are going to be doing
Oh, I'm on
So-
board with that.
that. And it's
I am
miniatures.
so on board with that.
Dibs on Shredder first. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really cool one. My number one was actually one of my top 5 disappointments of last year, and I am glad to say that they stepped it up, and in return, I feel like I didn't really buy too many games at Gen Con. I got a lot of games as review copies, but the one booth where I walked out and I purchased, I think, 6 or 7 games was Haba, and Haba stepped it up. Last year was Bush League at best. They didn't know their prices. They didn't
Yeah.
bring enough inventory. They had like this ghetto old 1970s credit card swipe system, and this year it was better staffed, more games. They still didn't have their prices listed, which is a little bit bothersome. They were demoing stuff. They had everything set up and nice looking. They had tons of games, and it was just a pleasure to be in there.
Complete 180.
Yeah.
Complete 180.
They expanded to two booths, which was really cool because, and wow, they were very, very busy the whole
Yeah.
time. Every time I
Yeah.
walked by there, They were busy. I was a little bit disappointed I didn't get one of the Rhino Hero capes, which was a little bit sad for my son.
Well, I told you we should have went first thing.
But yeah, Haba Games really stepped it up. I'm excited to see them grow. Oh wait, they can't grow because of space sizes, but still.
Yeah, check out the top 5 disappointments for.
But yeah, Haba Games is going to be a player in the American market for a long time. I have a feeling because they're just now dipping their toes into the American market the last couple of years, and I have a feeling they're just going to crush a lot of these other companies that are putting out subpar kids games because their stuff is just.
Yeah, I was going to say that. For those of you who don't know, Haba specializes in very young children's games, but they focus on game mechanics that pique the interest of adults with children who play games.
And extremely nice components. Like you go buy something for $6 at Walmart. You know how long it's going to last? It's going to last about 6 days. These Haba Games, chunky wooden pieces, die that are all wood, big. Oh gosh! If you have kids, just go buy Haba Games. Just throw money at your computer screen until that's how the internet works. But that was my number one. Haba Games, and that was our top 10 list of Gen Con 2015. Overall, it was a spectacular year.
Great year.
Gen Con is just awesome. We look forward to going back next year, and let us know in the comments below what was something that you really liked at Gen Con. If you want to make a top 10 list, hell, write it down there too. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
Bowers Game Corner presents Gen Con Video Bonanza 2015. Brought to you by Gatekeeper Games, makers of the King's Armory, Thunder Track, the new sequel to Turbo Rally Kart Racing, and the generosity of these great companies. They support us, go support them.